Hello. Greetings. Welcome back to Blackbird News, where everything is connected. How are you all doing? Thank you for hanging out with me every day. Every day on the internets. Yes, I showed up. Oh man, the drama never keeps going. Or what? What did I just say? The drama is never ending is what I meant to say. The drama always keeps going. Whew. Yeah. Got to get it together, Grouch. Yeah, I hit a pothole last night and my tire. Well, not my tire, but my rim got so bent that my tire lost air. It's because of the rain. All the rain we've had have washed out the roads. And have really like done a number on the road. So there are just some massive potholes all over the roads from the rain, and I swear to God, I was driving down the street going, "Don't hit a pothole! Don't hit a pothole!" Wham! Hit a pothole. I hit one so bad it just, yeah. Anyway, so I had to just got back from dealing with that, but we are here. We are here. We made it. Cherry blossoms already past peak where you are, Osama. Jeez. Yeah, the plants are confused. The animals are confused. Poppy Davis says my red buds are budding too early. I don't know. You guys know what's happening, right? You know what's going on. For those of you who insist that something else is going on, the climate is changing. The climate is changing not for the better. It is going to bring us great disturbance in our lives. And, I'm not necessarily happy about reporting that to you. Anyways. Oh my God. Just, I don't know. I, in my regular life, I tend to be a pretty easygoing person. I try not to ruffle too many feathers. I feel like you guys get get me at my most judgmental. And this is kind of part of why I enjoy doing the show. It's a little bit of a release. It's cathartic. And it's cathartic for the viewers as well, but it's a little cathartic for me to, things I wouldn't say just in polite company, or things I wouldn't just necessarily like blab out or blurt out, because it would just be, uncalled for or something. But oh God. Anyways, the world we live in basic land where people are just basic. People like to do basic-ish, and they just, I've seen you on Twitter, Kevin. You're vicious, says Poppy Davis. Well, that's my Black Bear News account. So I guess maybe the Twitter place space could be. I try not to be quite so mean. I really try not to be too mean. But that is another space where I kind of just let my hair down and let myself say what I'm thinking, or what I'm feeling. But man, okay, they're cute, they're lovable, they're Funko Pops. Everybody loves these cute little lovable guys. But man, when I say you walk into Target, or any Walmart or any other big box store, and you are looking at just you're looking at a landfill, a pre-landfill. Everything in that big box store is going to go straight to the freaking garbage. Sooner than later, and then all of it can't, all the things that it took, the energy and the destruction and the resources it took to actually produce all that garbage, put it on some shelves. Dress it up so it doesn't look like garbage. Dress it up so it looks like a cute little toy. Like, oh, this is cute. I mean, can you even imagine the absolute filth that was involved in making these cute little Funko Pops and wrapping them up and shipping them to where you live? I mean, the absolute planetary destruction. These guys I believe there might be vinyl. Vinyl, I don't know if it's vinyl chloride or some kind of, there's some really bad, crappy plastic chemicals that are in making these guys, right? So imagine living near the factory where they make Funko Pops. Imagine having to breathe in the fumes from the Funko Pop factory. Cute, huh? That's so cute. They're so cute. Oh. They're so they're so cool and cute. We love them. Right? But imagine the people that had to live next to the factory where these were made. And and so many other things that we consume that we absolutely need. Not need is what I meant. Yes, obsolete optics. Vinyl chloride is a precursor to polyvinyl chloride plastic. Right. Anyways, Funko is sending $30 million worth of its products to a landfill. Good God. Or, you know what I mean? If you can't, and that's the other thing too. If you can't sell, like when you walk into a Target or a Walmart or a big box store or even a supermarket, just imagine everything you see is trash, garbage to be thrown out into straight. You don't even have to buy it. Just go straight from the shelves to the dumpster. If somebody doesn't buy these things, they go straight to the dumpster. I mean, we hope that some good souls, some fine, generous, compassionate thinking souls might scoop up some of this garbage, but probably not. Probably less likely than likely. Scoop up some of it and give it away to needy people, or I don't know, where the needy people can use it, and it will eventually become garbage after the needy and the non-needy use it up. The world is just one big Funko Pop, one big vinyl chloride factory. Working overtime to make you the cute stuff, and some useful stuff too, probably. But all of it, every bit of it, is going in the garbage, and probably is going to be there, decomposing or not decomposing, for a very long time. These forever chemicals. Does it matter whether? Does it matter whether they escape a train canister in a derailment and get blown up into the sky? I mean, that's horrific indeed. But does it even matter? I mean, let's say they just make it to the destination, these chemicals, and then they make it to the factory where they're used to make this, garbage that everybody buys up and then eventually throws in the landfill. Guess what? All that stuff is leaching into the environment anyways. All that stuff is leaching into the ground and the groundwater. And if you own it and you have it in your house, it's, throwing off particles and it's leaching into your, the air you breathe and the water you drink. And burning it up into the sky is probably not a great way to disperse these chemicals. But on the way to the factory and on the way out of the factory and on the way to your home and after it leaves your home, it's dispersing chemicals anyways. Valhalla says they manufactured $30 million in harmful plastics just to bury them in the landfill. They should be punished. Absolutely. They should have their company taken over and scattered to 1,000 pieces. And I would say don't even let any of the people keep any of the money. Confiscate their, close the company immediately, confiscate their bank accounts. This company doesn't no longer exists. Good day, sir. And that's the reality of it. If you wanna know, I know it's all very cute and fun. Funko, the toy and collectible I can't even speak today. Collectible manufacturer, best known for its Funko Pop vinyls line, is sending at least $30 million worth of its products to a landfill. This is from Doomer Girl News, by the way. As reported by Kotaku, Funko revealed during an earnings call that it has so much idle stock sitting in warehouses that financially its best option is to throw $30 to $36 million worth of it into the garbage. You know why? So they can make more. And that's the most disgusting part of it all. The most idle products, idle merchandise in its warehouse. No, we're not going to sit on it and sell these as the need might arise. No, we want to throw them away, and so that we could probably make some more. Inventory at year-end totaled $246.5 million, an increase of 48% compared to a year ago. Because people are kind of over the Funko Pop thing, right? It was a fad. It was a thing, and then they were like, wow, we're on a gravy train. People love these things. They're buying them up like hotcakes. We got to up production. We got to build a new factory. Come on, let's go. Capitalism calls. And so they upped their production, right? They're like, we're on it. Everybody's riding the gravy train. Oh, we got to produce. And then, and all of a sudden everybody's like, Funko Pops, whatever. I'm over it. And now they have $250 million worth of inventory. Wow. This inventory at year-end totaled $246 million, an increase of 48%, compared to a year ago. Funko said this includes inventory that the company intends to eliminate in the first half of 2023 to reduce fulfillment costs by managing inventory levels to align with the operating capacity of our distribution center. This is expected to result in a write-down in the first half of 2023 of approximately 30 to 36 million. Wow. CEO Brian Mariotti said during an investor's call that one distribution center was so full that Funko was renting shipping containers to hold the excess stock. Wow. Funko certainly had its foot on the gas when it came to producing new lines of pop vinyls. Alongside having a ton of iconic ranges with characters from Marvel, Star Wars, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, DC. There are also plenty of more obscure series, including Pets, Conan O'Brien, NBA, ad icons, and more. A dozen or so figures are launching just this month, too, including a glow-in-the-dark Shazam, the 1989 Batman, Walt Disney on a Train, and more. I told you, What did I tell you? They're throwing them away so that they can make more. Well, if we can't sell them all, we'll just throw them in the garbage, but we'll keep making them. Yeah, Funko Pop. Okay. Anyways, unbelievable, unbelievable waste, filth, destruction. These people suck. But this happens in a lot of other industries too. This is not just Funko Pop, right? This is not. They're so cute. Oh. Get back in my schedule. It's 12:25. Y'all know that the good way to support the show is at Black Bear News. Buymeacoffee.com/Black Bear News. You can leave me a tip during the show, leave a message and stuff like that. Rockfin is another great way to support the channel. Rockfin tips, super chats, also cool. Hello M, you're watching in the wings. That's cool. M or EM. Hello. All right. Yeah, that's an infuriating story. Oh, here's another story about throwing away solar panels. And we've talked about this, so many times over the last few years. Poppy sent this to me. And she said, sickening. Even to save the planet, we don't plan ahead. 90% of old solar panels in the U.S. and EU end up in a landfill, including their precious metals that require mining. Oh, what? They get old, we're going to throw them away. As millions of solar panels age out, recyclers hope to cash in. Maybe. Or maybe they just want to make more of them. Maybe there's more money in not recycling them and just building them. And I bet that there is. And I bet that that's what they plan to do. We could recycle them, but there's just not a lot of money in that. There's more money in mining, shipping, constructing, building, shipping again, erecting, right? Installing, whatever. There's more money in that than in the recycling part, I'm sure. %90 is a lot. Anyway, solar panels have a lifespan of 25 to 30 years, but they contain valuable metals, including silver and copper. With a surge of expired panels expected, companies are emerging that seek to recycle the reusable materials and keep the panels out of the landfills. Yeah. U.S. solar panels due to retire by 2030 would cover about 3,000 American football fields. 3,000 American football fields. That's a lot. Let's see. I'm trying to find the part about the 90%. Anyways, yes, 3,000 American football fields. It's a good bit of waste, said Taylor Curtis, a legal and regulatory analyst at the lab, NREL. But the industry's recycling rate at less than 10%. Less than 10%. Wow. That's horrific. lags far behind the upbeat forecast for the industry's growth. Okay. It's an upbeat forecast for industry's growth. Solar panels are booming. You know what's funny? It's a big deal because a lot of cities, areas, regions, are helping people to install solar to bring down their energy costs and whatnot. And so I'm inundated in my house by folks walking down the street and coming to the door and saying, "Are you interested in solar? We would like to help you. There's a plan to to get low cost solar or no cost solar." Right? It's this thing, right? I don't know if it's L.A. County or I think it's L.A. County, where they, they'll set you up with a solar thing and somehow prorated against the cost of future electrical bills and whatever they'll do some magic math for you. But what's funny is it only really applies if you actually use the shit out of some energy, right? If you're actually using a lot of energy, oh well, then we can totally help you bring down your bill, right? But I actually don't use a lot of energy, so I never qualify for any of these programs. And so that's very interesting to me, right? So it's like, well, I don't use enough energy for it to really make sense. And I'm probably still going to get a solar panel or two, but like it just doesn't, and I do use little energy, very little energy. I don't know. Maybe the answer is using less energy. Perhaps. But I think it's funny. They come to my door like clockwork, like once a week. Hey, we're with a, Blobbity Blue Solar. You want to get some solar panels on your house? They go through the whole spiel and they're like, well, how much are you spending on your energy bill? And then I show them and they're like, oh, you don't qualify because it's the same thing every time. You don't qualify. You don't use enough energy. Oh, okay. Guess I better use some energy up so I can qualify for some of my solar panels. Maybe I should get an electric car and plug it into the wall socket and see how much energy that sucks out. I'm not going to do that. Yes, use less energy, but my standard of living, says Obsolete Optics. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll get an electric car, plug it into the wall socket, and suck that energy right up, and they'll be knocking on my door. Hey, you qualify. Maybe we can get you a solar panel or two. All right, cool. Anyways, I don't even know. This might be depressing. Reading more of this. By 2050, the value of raw materials recovered from solar panels could exceed $15 billion. 2050. Oh, that's going to be a fun time. Can't wait till 2050. As of July 2022, California had only one recycling plant that accepted solar panels. Yeah. Sounds about right. You know how progressive we are? California. We're all Democratic and stuff, and Gavin Newsom, and we're so progressive, and we're doing all the progressive things, and we love green energy and saving the planet. We only have one recycling plant for solar panels in California. Yeah. These solar panels are cool, but what about the waste? What are we going to do? God dang, I love coffee. All right. That was just random. Okay. Well, that's not good, is it? These things are going to age out, end up in some landfills, leaching all their delicious chemicals into the earth. You know, solar panels are cute. What if you just didn't use too much energy? This is an interesting tweet regarding East Palestine. Sorry, this is like a longer. This is some random, but look at this. It's from The Guardian. This article is older, 2013. Liu Zhizhen, Chinese ex-railway minister, sentenced to death for corruption. A Beijing court has sentenced China's former Minister of Railways, Liu Zhijun, to death with a 2-year reprieve for bribery and abuse of power. China state media reported on Monday, ending one of the country's highest profile corruption cases in years. Do you think anybody in this country will ever be held accountable for this East Palestine disaster? Anybody? Do you think anybody will actually even be fired? You're fired. I kind of doubt it. Is anybody going to be fired? Go to jail? Stand trial? I mean, at the very least, we'll probably see some. You know, the only thing that happens is, a fine, right? We're going to slap you with a fine. Whack, whack, with the ruler on the back of the hands, on the knuckles. Little rap on the knuckles. We'll get you with a fine. Nobody's going to jail, though. Certainly nobody's going to be sentenced to death. That would be barbaric. Huh. You think they really got rid of corruption in China? Or is that guy just a Bernie Madoff? The Bernie Madoff of China. Yeah, we're going to get this guy. We're going to get him good. He was bad. He was really bad. He was stealing money. He was corrupt. He was bad. What about all the other people he was doing business with? Oh, no. This guy is bad. Well, hands off the other guys. They're okay. We didn't see them implicated in any of these shenanigans whatsoever. J.P. Morgan, never. No, they're fine. But that Bernie Madoff, he is a monster. Okay, really? He's the only one? He's a bad, bad man? But everybody else? Can you send me an email with your cabinet picks, Jamie Dimon? Or Obama. This is Barack Obama. Can you send me an email with your cabinet picks? Jamie Dimon, that would be great. I'll get right on that. Thanks. Oh, you did business with Bernie Madoff? Don't worry about it. We'll see that you skate scot-free. Don't worry about it. You mean Bernie Madoff had money in J.P. Morgan Chase? Like billions of dollars? And they didn't know about it? Sounds plausible. Sounds totally plausible. what's going on here? Mm-hmm. Well, this isn't weird. The Russia-Ukraine war remapped the world's energy supplies, putting the U.S. at the top for years to come. It's from Perpetual Shadowban. It's from he's responding to a post from Aaron Mate, former Congress member Dennis Kucinich, who's a pretty good guy, actually. On the Biden admin's bombing of the Nord Stream pipeline, U.S. Congress has an obligation to investigate this, and so should the International Criminal Court. Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think anybody's going to go to jail? You think anybody's going to get fired? You're fired. Do you think... No? Nothing? Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Do you think anything's going to happen? Is anything going to come from this? Tim on Colin says solar-powered BBN would be cool. Well, that's actually that actually is kind of my goal. Would be to get to have on my studio quite a bit of sun. I mean, it's unfettered sunlight hitting the top of my studio. So if I put some solar panels on the roof, it would be really cool if I could power everything in the studio with the solar panels and unhook myself. This is actually where I use the most energy, I think. Maybe not. No, that's true. I think this is where I use the most energy. Electric energy, that is. So yeah, maybe I could power this show with the solars. With the sun. The energy of the sun. Anyways, we're gonna be the top dog in the energy field for years to come. After that pesky pipeline was blown up. Huh. I wonder. I think this war is about helping the Ukrainian people and their sovereignty. I think this war is about democracy, and it is not. This war is not about being the top dog in the energy market for years to come. It's not about that at all. Nope. Refrigerators do use a lot of energy, but I'm actually not a big appliance person. So I use very few appliances. It's like my computer, the Wi-Fi. The refrigerator, sure. Um, that's about it. Anyways, Obsolete Optic says I'm a big fan of nuclear power when it's 93 million miles away. Me too. That's the kind I like. Oh, I was actually talking to somebody the other day about the advent of solar fusion. I mean, fusion energy. Sorry. I'm like, I don't know. He was actually an investor in it. It was an interesting conversation. But he was like, it's going to be the future. It's going to be great. We're making strides every day for it to become actually doable. I was like, I wasn't trying to be too much of a jerk. I was just like, oh, really? Tell me more. And I was like, in my mind, though, I was like, this thing doesn't even work yet. And you guys are talking about making strides. You know, you guys can keep this fusion reaction going for like a couple of milliseconds right now. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, this is the energy of the future, but you can only keep it going for, let me know. Let me know. Let me know when that's actually workable. You know, I don't know. It just, I wasn't, I actually was seriously trying not to be too negative. I was trying not to be too negative, but I was like, man, it's an interesting idea for sure. It's an interesting idea. But you're talking about, controlling a lot of energy at very, very high heat. Very high heat. And thinking that no, it's totally safe. He was his line was if something goes wrong, it just shuts down. It's like a light switch. I was like, are you sure? But you're the investor, so of course that's the you got to say the line. I can't fault him. He's the he's the guy that gets people to invest in these projects. So you gotta say the line about it's totally safe. If just something goes wrong, it just shuts down like a light switch. And I was like, man, really? That's great. But you're talking about I don't know how many thousands of degrees this thing has to operate at, and the amount of pressure that is involved, and the heat and the pressure and I'm like, yeah, okay. If something goes wrong, totally fine. All right. Scott Andrews says, I have a 100-watt solar panel. To use solar for extensive energy backup requires a hell of a lot more. I would like solar backup for the refrigerator. Yeah. What's up going on, Rockfinners? How you doing? Yeah, there is a buzz. I'm sorry. I just here. Now the buzz is gone. Yeah, the mic buzz is more to do with the when I have the computer plugged in. There's a bit of a loopy, and I can't really. I don't know. I try to get it out. And I try all the things. I try all the things that people suggest, and none of them have worked yet. One day I will find the magic. I'll find the magic. I promise. I'm trying to find the magic. For my sake and for your sake. And then the buzz is gone. And then the buzz is gone. The buzz is gone. Let's see. Um, There's some other things I wanted to talk about today. I have magical qualities. Okay. Thanks. I mean, sure. Sure. Sorry. I'm getting distracted. It's okay. It's a Saturday and we're kind of hanging out here, right? Today we're nearing the end of the show. Um and I had a bunch of the problem is I line up all these articles in my queue, and then some of them get buried, more quickly than I can actually read them. Oh, we'll talk about. You guys hear about the haboobs in Texas? These huge dust storms that are happening. Has anybody experienced these? Here comes the haboob. Texas high plains getting walloped by dust storms. It's from like a week ago. High plains residents are used to wind and dust, but an ongoing drought and recent tropical storm level winds have brought some epic dust storms. Anyways, during that week, the region has been blanketed in a thick layer of dust, kicked up by powerful winds that reached as high as 69 miles per hour, according to the Lubbock office of the National Weather Service. These are the kinds of winds that you see with tropical storms or hurricanes, said Harrison Sinkevich, a forecaster with the Weather Service. But rather than have all the rain, everything is dusty and brown and occasionally on fire. While there are no wildfires this week, the region has been under a red flag warning and a high wind advisory and a visibility warning and an air quality warning too. Those kinds of conditions would be a nightmare for most other places in Texas. In the high plains, these dust storms are common and can evolve into haboobs, intense, gritty sandstorms that quickly put a sepia-colored filter over everything and turn the baby blue sky a dirty brown hue. Dust storms typically last an hour or so, but the longer the wind has to pick up speed, the more dirt and dust it can scour off the dry ground, and more likely it is to grow into a haboob, which is an Arabic word for a violent dust storm. Have you all noticed have you guys noticed that like a higher wind situation in where you live? Not only has my neck of the woods, my part of California, gotten, not just this year, but for several years in a row, we've gotten some insane, intense rainfall, atmospheric rivers, if you will. But have you all noticed that the winds are, we've also gotten some crazy wind. That's something that people are not really talking about. We've had some insane windstorms that come either right before or after the rains. Insane windstorms. So that is also another product of climate change, right? That's another knock-on effect of climate change. So you guys are seeing it, that you're seeing that too. High winds in Missouri, Judy Truitt, you're seeing it. Contemplator Prague, yeah. Straight line derechos is that what that's called, Poppy Davis. Straight line winds, derechos. Yeah. And that's I wonder, I often, wonder how bad those winds will get. Yes, again, a fairly new word in our language, the derecho. Sorry, um, like atmospheric river, bomb cyclone. All these polar vortex, all these things that are suddenly like regular occurrences that used to be quite rare. Gene says bodega roofs have blown off. Winds for all the month of February, not typical. Oceanic Estate says the Earth is trying to reach equilibrium. Probably. I've told this story before, or I've mentioned this a long time ago. And soon clathrate guns. Yes. There was a guy. I saw a video years ago, and this guy had some kind of claim to predicting the future. And it wasn't necessarily scientifically, but what he said was, in the future, the winds are going to there's going to be these instances of winds reaching like 200 miles an hour, 250, and they're going to be so bad that people are going to have to live underground because these winds will just knock everything down. So, and but I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But if you remember, Paul Beckwith did a video years ago about how during other climactic epochs, there were huge, gigantic swells, right, waves in certain parts of the ocean, so big that they would, heave huge boulders up onto the land in like South America. There were there were periods of I guess crazy strong currents that would wash towards this particular shore in South America. And what they thought was that these periods of huge waves would just wash these boulders on the shore. Anyways, and then there's also evidence. There's historical evidence that there were very high winds. And now, if I don't know that we're going to just randomly, but let's say there are tornadoes. There are more frequent tornado warnings and watches, and actual tornadoes doing damage. So this is also another climate effect, I guess, that people are going to have to start living with, right? They're strong now, but there are going to be, I think, in the future, those strong wind instances are going to, happen enough that people are going to have to start preparing for them, right? You're going to have to like they do in places where there are tornadoes. You're going to have places where you can get out of the way of the wind. Places where you didn't have to before, right? Places where, this wasn't a thing. We don't get tornadoes here. We don't get these crazy winds here. Oh, now you do. Oceanic Estate says, when climate is warming or cooling rapidly, the weather goes ape. Tornadoes thrive on that stuff, sure. Nadia says the Permian Triassic was likely to have featured long-term hypercanes circling the Earth, even across the interior of Pangaea. Yeah, probably, right? And incredibly intense storms and storm activity, right? And there's another factor: increased lightning strikes, and that has gone up. Sean Kelly says, at least we delayed the next ice age. Yeah. All right, guys, that does it for me. I got to take off. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and every day on the interwebs. And appreciate all the folks on Rockfin. Appreciate all the folks on Callin. And we will be back. Somebody asked me on Rockfin, do I speak Swedish? I do not. I do not speak Swedish. I would like to, as well as many other languages. The Permian Triassic had CO2 up to 8,000 parts per million. Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. Thanks so much. I will see you tomorrow at the regular time of 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time, peace.